Hello, my fellow gamers. Welcome back to Comfortable Gaming. Today we're talking 7 reasons why Game Pass is so great, why you need to try it out, and why it's such a great and growing service as it is. We're gonna go over these 7 points. If you're new here, we do everything Game Pass on this channel. Like and subscribe, and let's just get straight into this video. And firstly, we got price on the list, and starting off with, it's one of the most important things as a gamer. We spend a lot of money on games and whatnot, and one of the great things with Game Pass, you don't have to spend so much money. And what it comes down to, with you got your options of PC, Game Pass console, and Game Pass Ultimate, which covers a lot of things, all 3 different tiers, which come at really nice prices of $9.99 for console, $15 for Game Pass Ultimate, which covers both console and PC, and I think $10 as well for PC, and usually it can be like $6 when you get it a month, and you get a lot of games in life. Number 2 on the list is accessibility, and one of the great things again with Game Pass, what it offers is not just a great library of games, is also to play on PC, to play on console, or to play on cloud and on the go type of thing, so you don't even need to have a console to play games. So that's another point I'm going to get in over later. Cloud gaming, it's still kind of in its beta, but it's doing well. But the point is that you just don't need to go out there and get a console just to access Game Pass and do all the things. If you have a PC already, you can just jump straight into it. Or you have an old Xbox console like an Xbox One, you don't need the next gen consoles also to access Xbox Game Pass, so you don't need the latest generation consoles as well. And that being one of the great points with Game Pass, that doesn't matter what platform you're on, you can play, and all your games get saved. So if you have both systems, let's say, and you play it on PC, and then eventually you get a new generation console, or whichever way you're doing it, your games, whatever you played on Game Pass, are saved onto a cloud, so you can just continue off wherever you stopped. And that's another great way of just so many ways to access the game. If you want to play on the go, you can stream on your console, just play your cloud gaming. Not a lot of games on the cloud, but that's that accessibility of just accessing such a huge library of games anywhere or whichever system you kind of have, besides obviously if you have a Sony or something like that, obviously it's not on there, or a Nintendo. But I think it's such a great value for money, and just to be able to play it on different systems, you're not stuck into the Xbox ecosystem, which is a really great thing. And number 3 on the list is day 1 releases, and this is one of the best things with Game Pass. You know, in games, your new Halo comes out and it's like $60 you have to pay for it, Call of Duty $60, or nowadays games are going for $70, and it adds up to a lot of money. And one great thing about Game Pass, not just studios that are just owned by Microsoft come day 1 to Game Pass, we get a lot of third-party games come day 1 to Game Pass. We recently have gotten Plague Tale Requiem, which is a day 1 release to Game Pass, which is one of the best games of 2022, to come day 1 to Game Pass is a really big deal. In the end of November we got Warhammer 40k Dark Tide also coming day 1 to release. Beginning of the year we had Rainbow Six Extraction day 1 release. So a lot of big games come to Game Pass that are just not also necessarily owned by Microsoft, and that is a really big thing, and it saves you a lot of money, and you get to play the latest newest games straight away if you just have the service, and it's a huge thing. And like I said, Plague Tale is one of the really great games at the moment that are on Game Pass that I absolutely love. And again, if you're on PC and console, just you gotta check, sometimes they release on PC, sometimes they release on console, sometimes they release on everything, so do check some certain games. But there's so much to choose from and play, which is a really big thing. And I think day 1 releases is one of the things that are changing the industry, of people not coughing up so much money for certain games that they can just access the newest, latest games without any additional cost except just having the service, which is a really great thing. And bringing us on to huge library of games, and that's point number 4. And like I said, alongside great day 1 releases, you just get access of just games coming to the service all the time, with a bunch of releases of all sorts of different games, to small indie games to big AAA games, and it's a huge library of a lot of things to access. I mean, to every single Halo game, Yakuza has just returned again with all its games on Game Pass, which is a huge thing for a lot of games to enjoy. There's every single Doom game is on there. If you have access to EA Play, if you have Game Pass PC or Game Pass Ultimate, you get a huge access of EA games like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, EA titles of FIFA and things like that are on there. Need for Speed games, There's so much to choose from, which is crazy. And it's such a massive library that your backlog will bottle up so much. And as each month we get 2 weeks releases of games, each month of new stuff coming to the service every 2 weeks. I promise you will have a big backlog of games you want to try out and play. And that's a really great thing. Without costing any extra dollars, you can just access and try some games. And just such a massive library of things to play, to access. And it just gets better over time as more games added and stuff. And there's never going to be something for you not to play. Point number 5, and that is the ever-changing game library on Game Pass. The only thing that's a downer that certain games leave over time. But again, it will be so many games onto the service, and you expect how Microsoft will pay for this, which is crazy how many games already we get. But one of the great things I love about the games leaving and games coming, like I said before in the previous one, that every 2 weeks we get a new sort of games each month. So first 2 weeks of the month we get the first announcements of games coming and leaving, and then second week they also announce more games leaving and more games coming. So the library is ever so changing of new games coming, and not just first party studios, like I said before, just to a bunch of also third party studios coming, either day one releases or just coming to the service for the first time. As we also recently got Persona 5, we've been looking for more JRPGs onto Game Pass, which was another great addition that has come to Game Pass. So it's ever so changing. The only thing is you do got to keep away of a certain game that might be leaving that you want to try and play. It might be leaving soon, or a game that you're busy playing that might leave the service. But we do cover all of that on this channel, so you will, if you like and subscribe, you do find a lot of stuff on our channel, which games are coming and leaving every month. And besides EA Play also joining Game Pass to a huge library, like I said before, there's always something new around the corner to play, a new game coming. Sometimes some games leave, unfortunately, but there's so much always coming to Game Pass. Like I said, every 2 weeks there's something to look forward to, and there's some games on here that what makes this ever-changing library game that you do try a lot of games you would never try before. And that's the next topic I want to talk about, is trying new games. So this is a great thing about Game Pass. Again, is also for me personally, I found a lot of indie games I never thought of even existed or even thought of playing. Even to big AAA games. I know a couple of friends that have never tried Forza and never willing to pay extra money to play Forza, and now because access through PC Game Pass or console Game Pass, and if they never even owned an Xbox, they can gain that access to play Forza. And a lot of people, for example, don't want to pay that extra money for a game that not sure they're gonna like. And with Game Pass, you can just sit down and download whatever in the library is. And a lot of the times you find such, like Midnight Fight Express is a great one, that you find these small games you never thought of are really great games to check out and play. And like I said, you would have never spent money on it because I don't know, should I spend this much money, and I don't know if the game I'm gonna like it. But with Game Pass, you don't have that problem. You have the service, try it out. If it's not for you, try a different game or play a different game. But a lot of times you get surprised, especially with the smaller titles, how amazing small games are on Game Pass, and not just the big AAA games. And that, like I said, your library just gets filled up of so many games to try out and play, and there's so much accessibility, so many different games coming and leaving, like I said before, and you'll be trying constantly new games, which is a really great thing. And I think it's one of the best things about Game Pass, where you don't have to worry about paying money to try a game then you don't like it. You can just download and play it, whatever is in the service. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If it's for you, then great. And a lot of times you discover games you thought you wouldn't even like, and sometimes you discover really great games you not even heard of before. And last point is cloud gaming. And I know maybe some people discuss this yes and no, but it's gotten so much better, and it just gets better. And more games keep adding to touch controls, because a lot of times they ask you to connect a Xbox controller, but a lot of more and more games are coming where you just don't even need a controller anymore. You can play it on your iPad, on your phone, and I found the thing to run the best for me personally on my phone. And things like that, but you can stream to pretty much any device. And this is another great thing with Game Pass. I think that for the foreseeable future it will just get better and better, where you just, like I said, you don't need that console, you don't need a PC to just access and play your favorite games. You can just stream them on your phone, and it saves people a lot of money where they just use whatever device they have in their phone just to stream their games and try them out. And I know a lot of this is not maybe for hardcore gamers like myself, who still prefer to buy games, have them in their library and things like that, and but I guess that's just that old school in me for playing. But I have tried this service a bunch of times, especially times when I'm a lot out on the go, because I already have Game Pass Ultimate, and it's nice to just jump in and try out. It really is. And it's not just small indie games that you can stream onto the cloud, it's a lot of big games and a lot of AAA games that you can also stream towards the cloud, which is, I mean, playing Forza on the go and streaming it is crazy. And like I said, it's still not the perfect thing, but this is a great thing with Game Pass for a lot of people to try it out and just access it in its way without even coughing up on any hardware of machine, just using whatever tablet or phone you already own. So yeah, those are my 7 points why I think what makes Game Pass so accessible and so great. If you like this video, like and subscribe, leave a comment if I missed something below. Let me know what games you're playing or if you're looking forward to get Game Pass. And I'll see you guys all in the next one.